You know, a funny phenomenon happens in corporate America around the end of the year. So a lot of companies have bonuses, right? And those bonuses can depend on performance, on company performance, individual performance, and then there's a payout. And a really interesting phenomenon happens. That payout hits direct deposits, and then you see a bunch of 2-week notices get filed. Why does that happen? Well, obviously it's because employees who are looking for a new job or were offered a new position are waiting until that direct deposit hits before they can put in their notice. They want to get their bonus, you know, and then they want to leave. So that's great if you get an offer and then, 2 weeks from now is when the bonus hits. But what if it's 4 weeks? What if it's 6 weeks? What if it's 10 weeks? What if it's 100 weeks? 100 weeks is too long. But if it's all the others, we're gonna talk about that today. What do you do? How do you handle it? And what are your options? If you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you're not new to the channel, welcome back. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know one of the things that I say frequently is that there is never a bad time to hear about an amazing opportunity. I will say though, there is an inconvenient time to get an offer. So today we're gonna be talking about that end of year period where you're getting close to getting your bonus, right? But let's just say you get an offer for a job and you wanna accept that job, but it doesn't line up time-wise, right? Let's just say you get a bonus the first week of February, right? But the company extends you an offer middle of December, and they want you to start the first week of January. What do you do? So we're gonna talk through that today because there's a lot of variables that come into play here, and depending on the variables, that would change the way I would react to the offer, how I'd communicate it, different strategies. So first and foremost, you really have 3 options, right? So let's just say, to set the stage here, you get an offer December 20th, and they want you to start first week of January, but your company pays you a bonus in February. You only have 3 options. So the first is you don't get a bonus. You say, you know what? This is a huge career move for me. I know if I waited a little bit longer, I'd get a bonus, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna take the opportunity. This is too good of an opportunity to pass up. That's option 1. Let's talk about option 2. Option 2 is you talk to the company and you say, look, I've got a bonus coming and I would just like to get that and then I'd be able to start. Is there any way we could work on me doing maybe a second week of February start? Once I hit my bonus, I will, I'll give my notice and I'll leave. And then you have a third option. And the third option is you talk to them and say, look, we've got a couple options here. I've got a big year-end bonus. It represents a large portion of my compensation, and I'm not willing to leave before I get that, unless, of course, you could offer me a sign-on bonus that would kind of replace that. Here's what we're talking about from a numbers perspective. So that's the third option. So to recap real quick, don't get a bonus, push your start date back, and then 3, there is convince them to give you a sign-on bonus to offset what you'd miss for not receiving that bonus. So I want to talk about a big thing here. And the first major variable is timing, right? Timing is huge because if it is 4 weeks, that is not a big deal. If I was a candidate and I got an offer and they said, Ben, here's your offer. We'd love for you to give your notice and start in 2 weeks, but I had a bonus coming in 4 weeks. I'd say, hey, thank you so much. And I am excited. I'm really genuinely excited about joining this team and contributing to this organization. I can't wait. However, I have a bonus coming in 4 weeks. So what I'd like to propose is that we push back my start date 4 weeks until after I'm able to receive my bonus, right? So if it lines up so that you need to do a 4-week notice, that's actually not uncommon. I have clients all the time that are okay with candidates needing to do a 4-week. Maybe they're on a big project and they're like, look, I just don't feel good about leaving my company before this project finishes. So if you are okay with it, I would love to give them a 4-week notice instead of the traditional 2. That is okay. But what about if it's longer than that? What if it's 8 weeks? So I think the longest I would be comfortable going back and asking a company saying, hey, I've got a bonus coming in 2 weeks. Can I give a 4-week notice? That way I can wait 2 weeks to get my notice and then get my bonus and then give my 2 weeks then. That's a 4-month period or 4-week period rather. The longest I'd really be comfortable with is like 6 weeks. If somebody offered me a job and I really wanted the job, I would say, look, I've got a bonus coming in 1 month from now. So in 1 month, I can receive that bonus and give my 2 weeks. and then join you in 6 weeks, that is the absolute longest. So, if you're thinking about that option from a duration period, that's as long as I do. Anything other than 8, I think you have to look at one of those other solutions. You have to look at not getting a bonus or asking them if they're willing to, give you a sign-on bonus to offset you missing that bonus. Now, that's timing. The other thing that I think plays a big factor in which tactic you use is who contacted who, right? So in the recruitment world, you can either apply to a job or they reach out to you and say, hey, I know you're not looking, but you would be great for this and we'd love to talk to you. And I think that alters your leverage in such a significant way that it would alter the way I play this scenario, right? So first and foremost, right, if they contacted you, if they said, if someone reaches out to me and says, hey, Ben, we're super interested in you. We want you to lead our talent organization for America. Come work here. And I said, oh, you know what? I'm interested. Let's talk. But I want you to know that I do have a bonus coming. And I feel like in that scenario, when they reach out to you, it behooves you to communicate that early. And I feel a little bit more confident doing that because I know they're interested in me. They targeted me, they reached out to me, they want to pull me into their interview process, right? And because of that, I would communicate it rather early on. I would, maybe you talk to a recruiter, then you're talking to the hiring manager, and I'd go, hey, this has been a great conversation, but just from a timing perspective, because it seems like this thing has legs, I wanted to let you know that I've got a bonus that pays out 6 weeks from now. So from a timing perspective, I don't know what you're looking at, but should we progress further, this is what it would look like for me from a timeline perspective. So that's how I'd play it. I'd be really honest with them, and if they said, okay, Ben, totally, thank you for communicating that, but we don't want to wait 6 weeks. We want to extend you an offer and we want you here in 2 weeks. And I would say, hey, I like that. I'm excited about it. I'm willing to do that if you can give me a sign-on bonus that would offset what I'd miss. Or I'm totally comfortable accepting now with a delayed start date and starting, 6 to 8 weeks from now. Now, if you applied, it's a little bit more tricky, right? Because you are basically going to them and saying, hey, I want this job. You didn't reach out to me, I reached out to you and I want this job. And they go, okay, well, let's talk. And then you talk through it and you realize, yeah, this is a great fit, let's move forward. And you go, oh, but I have to wait 2 months because of a bonus. I feel like you don't have the same leverage because you were going out as an active job seeker and you were applying. So in this case, I think your options are a little bit less, right? And I wouldn't tell them right away. I wouldn't tell them in the very first conversation, but I would wait until they were interested enough, and then I would bring it up and be like, it occurred to me from a timing perspective that I do have a bonus coming 2 months from now. I wasn't actively looking, but I'm specifically interested in your organization and the role caught my eye, so I applied, and now looking at it, I realize, okay, I do have a bonus coming. And I would just be, this is one of those cases where honesty is the best policy. And I would be upfront and say, look, I'm really excited about this opportunity, but we got to do one of two things. We either have to wait, or I would also accept a sign-on bonus that again would offset the bonus I'm going to forego by joining your organization early. And I'd see how they react to that. And again, there's also the option that you walk away with nothing. At the crux of the difference here, I just feel like you have a lot more negotiation leverage if they come to you than if you come to them. But I think it's really important that you're clear. And you let them know early enough. If you get to the offer stage where they go, okay, Ben, here's the offer, and then you say that, you're too late, because then you're saying, oh, well, I'd like a sign-on bonus when they've already written an offer. I think you need to communicate that earlier than that. So there you have it. Those are the different ways I'd play it. Again, if you're looking at 4 weeks, congratulations, not really an issue. If it's longer than that, the way I would play it depends on whether they reached out to me or if I reached out to them. And if they had reached out to me, I would feel really comfortable negotiating here. And if I reached out to them, I think you've got to be a little bit more tactical with it. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please subscribe. And good luck in your next interview.